Merry Christmas and welcome to another Inspiration Collaboration Design Team Mystery Envelope Challenge. So this month we have our envelopes from Melanie, and she says, Merry Christmas everyone. For your mystery envelope this month, I have included some of the pocket cards from the Reindeer Day Memories and More's collection, as well as festive 6x6 papers from a Take a Bow paper. I'd love to see how you can incorporate these into 12x12 scrapbook layout. Have fun and enjoy your holiday. So I'll show you quickly what we received. And I was thinking about what I might scrapbook with this. I really don't need more Christmas layouts. I did a huge Christmas bash with my upline Kelly Baxter Fitzgerald, so I have lots of beautiful Christmas layouts, but she said to make a festive layout, which doesn't necessarily mean Christmas, right? So I decided that I will do a layout from New Year's Eve last year, and I was trying to decide which of these cards I want to use. I don't really want Christmas. I think I'm going to use this, potentially this, maybe this. So I'll pull out some, and these were folded in the mail, so I think I'm going to bring in some from the Take a Bow paper pack, and these were 6x6 papers. And they feature garden green, real red, and granny apple green. And I've pulled out some cardstocks, and I think these are the ones I'm going to use. And this is a picture of us with our friends Gary and Marissa. We went to Stella's in Perrysburg last year for New Year's Eve, and it's kind of a New Year's Eve tradition that we spend our New Year's Eve together. So I believe this year we're going to Cattle Creek, which is in Bryan. I'm pretty excited about that. So we've already got our reservations. Do you have your New Year's Eve reservations yet? If you are going out on New Year's Eve, let me tell you, you would be wise to get your reservations in ASAP. We have learned that waiting till even Christmas to start making your reservations is kind of leaving things up to chance. So we try to get ours in really early now. We've just had a few times that it was harder to get in if we waited. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I can make these line up to kind of fool the eye. Ooh, I think I can. I think I can. Perfect. Okay, so I think I want to fool the eye and make it appear as if this is one long panel. I really am not 100% sure what I'm creating, but we'll kind of do it on the fly. I looked at some sketchbooks, saw some things I liked, pulled out the pictures and the cards that I wanted to use, and said, yeah, I'm not fitting any of those onto any of the sketches I picked out. So I figured I'd just kind of wing it. Oh, it still doesn't look like it perfectly matches up. Well, ooh, that's kind of fun. Going the opposite way. Ooh, that's even better match going the opposite way. I kind of like that. Kind of gives a chevron type look. And I'm sure I can do something across the middle. So I'm trying to decide how I want to use these other elements on my page. So I think I'm going to cut this one in half. don't think I needed the full length, so I'm going to make it about 10 inches long. So I'll cut 4 inches off of one of these. Then I'm always trying to figure out the best way to match it up. If there is a best way. But I try all the directions just in case. It's kind of close. I don't think I'm going to match it up perfectly. Okay. So I want to come up about 1 inch from the bottom. And then this one was just a tad wider. I'm not sure why. So I'll kind of snuggle it under that layer just a little bit. It's one of the reasons I don't like to go all the way to the edge. And it's about 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom. And I'll hang on to this just in case I want a little scrap. Then this one, I think I like that. I'm gonna cut this one off about 1 1/4. Just kind of eyeballing it, but I think that's what I like. Yes, and then notice that covered up that seam right there on this sheet that was not matching up perfectly. Then I will try to center it from top to bottom. And I thought this would be nice for journaling. Then I like these trees going across the bottoms. I like the deer and the winter blessings. I think I'm going to come in here with my snips and cut around the trees to start with. So I'm going to trim these out with just a tiny white border around them. And when I finish cutting them all the way out, I'm actually going to split them into 2 groupings of trees. I'm going to put half on the left-hand side and half on the right. It's kind of hard to see from this camera angle, but I'm putting that card at the bottom between the 2. And then I'm going to come in and make some mats with my garden green and real red 2-toned cardstock. And I'm going to use 2 shades of the garden green. Since the picture appears to be 4 by 5 3/4, I'm going to calculate and make 3 layers that are 1/4 inch bigger on each side, 1/2 inch bigger on both sides, and then 3/4 inch bigger on both sides. And so that's all you do is just measure your picture and then calculate up by 1/4 inches, and that'll give you 8 1/8 inch borders all the way around for each of the frames. And so while you're watching this, I want to explain to you how the Inspiration Collaboration design team works. On the 10th of each month, we put out a challenge, and each person creates their own thing using that technique or whatever the item is for the challenge. Sometimes it's just something from a new catalog that's coming out, or featuring embossing folders, or the 3D embossing folders that come with the dies, or something like that. So we put those videos out on the 10th of each month. And then on the 25th of each month, we all have a mystery envelope that's mailed to us from one of the design team members, and it has its own set of products and its own challenge of what we're going to make. Melanie, like I said, was the person challenging us this month, and she challenged us with the Take a Bow papers and the Reindeer days, I believe it was like memories and more cards. And so that's what, and she challenged us to do a festive layout. So here's my layout, and I took the card and cut it down so that it appears as if it is tucked in behind the picture, but really it's just wedged up against the picture. And I will journal on that card off camera and put down the information about who we were with, where we went, what the occasion, and that sort of information. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm putting this Memories and More card at the bottom between those items, and then I'm going to take my Real Red and stamp Happy New Year. We are actually out for New Year's Eve, but we spent the evening together and rang in the new year together, and all of that will be explained on the card and on my little journaling box. And so I'm cutting this out, and I'm going to put it on my little banner that I've cut. And once I cut out this Real Red nice and snug to the sentiment, I realized that the red on red is just a bit too much and it kind of gets lost. So I found another scrap of something green. I kind of tested the back and said, yes, it needs to be on green. And so I brought in another scrap, cut down that banner, and so that I had a banner that was in the green that could serve behind the Happy New Year. And this red one, I will use that one and add another sentiment to my layout. So these are just tiny little extra sentiments. And I did a very shallow banner cut, which means I did not cut in very far at all. And then I still went in angled from the corners to that small slit that I made, and it made a nice shallow banner so that I still had plenty of real estate to put my sentiments on. And this other one I trimmed down just a little bit because the sentiment that I'm putting on is from that Reindeer Days Memory and More pack. Along with the cards, you also get some stickers. Now, I do not have many stickers left at all. In fact, the ones, I just have a few. But I have one that says Better Together. And you know, ringing in the holidays with family and friends doesn't get much better than that. So I'm going to put that sticker on that says Better Together. And then I will be ready to come in and do some stamping with my trees. Now, the trees that I have are from two different stamp sets. I have this pair of pine trees, pretty realistic looking, from In the Grove Stampin' Die set, and I did those in the garden green and in the granny apple green as well. And I tried the darker one in Stamping Off, and I kind of liked it. I'll have to decide what I'm using and what I'm not doing, but I'm just stamping off a whole bunch of trees. All of the rest of the trees are from Snowy Wonder, and that's the one that you get the dies that look like the snow globe and all the fun things. These trees are a little bit more whimsical looking, but I like combining that realistic with the whimsical, and I feel like the ones that were on the card that I cut out under the Merry Christmas, I felt like they were kind of a mix between realistic, whimsical. It was kind of like a watercolor look to them. So I've got a nice eclectic mix of trees that I'm going to be building up at the bottom of my scene. And I die cut all of those, and I have that whole forest of trees to work with. But first I want to do some little background stamping. I have some of this blue here and here, and I'm going to try, I can't find exactly the shade I want. I think I want Balmy Blue, but I don't think I have that in an ink pad. So I'm going to kind of test out one of these on my scrap paper and see how close I can get. I think I might want to do this like second generation, or Stamping Off as they call it in Stampin' Up. Yeah. So this is Lost Lagoon, and I'm stamping off, and I just want a little bit of blue, but nothing too bold. Now this is one of those do as I say, not as I do type moments. So I should have started with the largest snowflake and then went to my medium and then my smallest. But I did all of my random stamping with my snowflakes. And then once I finished doing all of those snowflakes around that white part of the background, I'm going to come in and build my scene with my trees at the bottom of the layout. I did take some of those stamps from the snowflakes and also added those to that journaling card. It really helped tie it all together on my layout. And so it's very subtle, and when I journal over top, it will be absolutely fine. And it's just a little subtle detail that I like to add, and I think you can see those just subtly in the background. Now, some of my very smallest snowflakes I did in the Lost Lagoon at full strength, like I did not stamp off. The first one was kind of an accident, and then after that, I liked it. And here's your last look, and I hope you will check out the playlist link at the end, and you will follow all of the Inspiration Design Team ladies for more inspiration. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more crafty inspiration.